Man, what's going on, man? It's your boy Wavy Deans, and we back with another reaction video, man. Today we doing an update on lil Durk. You know, it was very popular last week, and it seemed like people say it every now and then, but it's not that popular this week. I want to know what's going on with lil Durk. I hope y'all want to know what's going on with lil Durk, so let's hop into it, man.
Grammy Award-winning rapper remains locked up, accused of being the mastermind of a plot to kill his rival. But now federal authorities are tacking on more charges in connection to the fatal 2022
he got some more
ambush.
charges.
Durk Banks, better known by his stage name lil Durk, was arrested in October near Miami International Airport, allegedly on his way out of the country. He's accused of plotting to murder rapper Taekwon Bowman, better known as Quando Rondo. Federal prosecutors alleged in a previous indictment, lil Durk put a bounty on Quando Rondo's head after one of Rondo's associates shot and killed Durk's longtime friend and collaborator King Von in 2020. Now in a superseding federal grand jury indictment, the new charges he faces could keep lil Durk behind bars for the rest of his life. Initially, the Chicago rapper was charged with one count of conspiracy to commit murder for hire. And the new indictment returned Thursday. It adds lil Durk as the lead defendant to the October indictment that previously charged 5 other men with the 2022 fatal ambush.
Bro,
so now Durk is charged with conspiracy.
It's just so bad because you get all the way up to the top. You come down. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't easy being down at the bottom, boy. Everybody who watching this know that, boy. Half of us down at the bottom right now. Not the bottom because we could always be worse than where we at right now. But we know where we used to be. And even if we get torn down from where we at right now to back to where we used to be, bro, it'll be devastating. So imagine surpassing so many levels, bro, and being able to do what you want, live what you want, eat what you want, be who you want, to go into jail for murder for hire. And it's so many leads that go right back to you, bro. It's so bad, bro. I could not imagine how he feels sleeping in a jail bed right now when he was on a $30,000 bed a couple months ago, all last year, doing everything he want, bro. I could not imagine, bro. I really feel for Durk, bro. Dang, bro.
One count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, one count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun and possession of furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. These are the same charges Kevon London Grant, aka Vonnie, Asa Houston, aka Boogie, David Brian Lindsay, aka Brown Eyes, Keith Jones, aka Flocka, and DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, aka Didi, already face. According to federal prosecutors, those 5 men all have ties to lil Durk's Only the Family, or OTF, that was formed in 2010. They claim OTF wasn't just about the music, but the organization also acted as an association of individuals who engaged in violence, including murder and assault at lil Durk's direction to maintain their status within OTF. And authorities claim Durk directed them to carry out the sinister crime. According to court documents, lil Durk feuded with the victim only known as TB in the indictment. However, the initials are the same as Quando Rondo's full name, Taekwon Bowman. Their feud stemmed from the November 2020 murder of lil Durk's friend King Von, in which an associate of TB shot and killed him outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta. According to the indictment, lil Durk seemingly wanted revenge and allegedly put a bounty on TB's life.
So let me ask y'all this, bro. Do y'all personally feel as if the fans had something to do with Durk getting retaliation on the death of King Von? I personally think that the fans ain't got nothing to do with it. The fans gonna forever talk. The fans been talking since he got into the game, and they gonna talk now, and it's always gonna be conversation. You know what I'm saying, when you popping. So I don't feel like the trolls and anything had anything to do with it, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't reading them anyway. But what I do have a problem with is, like, bro, 4 years ago, you know what I'm saying, it's some time to not say let something go, but to focus on something better, because it's something that you cannot change. You know what I'm saying? It was an incident that got out of hand, and that's just some situation that you got to accept. Everything happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? They may have happened to get you out of all of that, and you might have just needed to leave it alone, I feel like, because you already won at life, you know what I'm saying? And you already just lost a lot at life, so just keep your wins in your pocket and keep it moving. But now it's no, I need retaliation for my brothers, and it's gonna be so sloppy if you. No offense, bro, if you don't do it yourself, because it's always gonna be sloppy if you don't do it yourself, bro.
It all came to a head 2 years later on August 19th of 2022 when several OTF members and associates allegedly used two vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to murder Quando Rondo for hours.
Oh my
And eventually they caught
goodness.
up to Rondo, his cousin, and his sister at a gas station near the Beverly Center shopping mall. Lots of disturbing allegations in this indictment against lil Durk. And arrived to the gas station, according to the feds, that's when Asa Houston allegedly drove to a nearby alley before Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and a third unidentified man known in the indictment as co-conspirator 2 carried out the shooting, which was captured on surveillance video. According to the indictment, 18 shots were fired during the shooting, but instead of killing Rondo, they killed Rondo's cousin, who was ID'd in court documents as SR. Authorities tracked down the men involved after the hitmen used money from lil Durk and OTF to carry out the hit. According to federal prosecutors, bank and flight records showed an OTF member and close associate of lil Durk coordinated and paid for the 5 co-conspirators to travel from Chicago to California on the day of the murder. Court documents say around the time the one-way flights were purchased, lil Durk told an OTF associate, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." That same day the hitmen traveled from Chicago to California, lil Durk also traveled to California, but in a private.
Bro, that is just so wild, bro. Cause that's just like, you got an answer for that. You must have an answer. You know what I'm saying? Why did you send that message? That's the simple question that you must answer. And I don't think he could come up with an answer. The lawyer gonna be able to get out of that. I'm pretty sure it's a little loophole somewhere. You know what I mean? That he can stand by and it be the alibi, but I ain't gonna lie, this just looks so bad for Dirt, bro. Just with the facts that they already got, and that they are already, it's not assumptions, it's not like they trying to prove it. These are facts that they already got. So any more other digging is just gonna be like, oh yeah, this icing on the cake, bro.
Jet with Kevon Grant. When they touched down in Cali, Grant allegedly purchased ski masks for the shooters and paid using a credit card in lil Durk's name for the other co-conspirators' hotel rooms. Grant was named as a top OTF associate in the indictment and allegedly also used the money to rent the luxury sedan used in the shooting and gave Jones, Lindsay, and the third unnamed suspect guns, including one that was converted into a fully automatic machine gun. After Grant, Jones, Lindsay, Wilson, and Houston were arrested in late October, lil Durk tried to leave the U.S. According to the FBI, Durk booked at least 3 international flights. U.S. Custom and Border Protection alerted the feds he booked 2 one-way flights to Dubai and Switzerland. However, he didn't board either flight. Instead, officials say the Chicago rapper also booked a private plane to leave Miami and arrive in Italy. Durk was booked into custody on October 24th, an hour before the plane's departure.
I just
And
want
he
to
was
know,
taken
bro.
to the Broward.
Imagine Dirt on the run, and he in Italy somewhere, and they can't find him, bro. This will make it just so much worse, bro. It's already bad that you done sent a message. Don't book no flights in my name. They use your credit card to purchase everything, and third of all, you try to leave the country when they found out. Come on, bro. What is your lawyer gonna do with that, bro? I just don't get it, bro. Money can get you out of anything, though. I'm gonna be so honest, bro. Out of first degree murder, money can get you out of it, bro. But this is mind blowing that they got so many of these facts already on Dirt, bro.
County Jail before his transport to Los Angeles to face the charges. Meanwhile, the other 5 men named in the indictment are still in federal custody in Illinois, pending their transfer to LA for arraignment. The Grammy Award-winning rapper and his co-defendants are facing a lengthy sentence if convicted on all counts, a max sentence of life in prison. We have a lot to unpack with this new superseding indictment against lil Durk, so I have a great guest that I want to bring on, and that's retired Detective Commander Will Spieler. Will, always great to have you on. Now, you're from Chicago. What's your reaction hearing lil Durk's been arrested for this murder-for-hire plot that did result in the murder of the intended victim's cousin instead?
Well, it's really not a big surprise. He grew up in Inglewood. I'm very, very familiar with Inglewood. We've had problems with these driller rappers, with feuds in the neighborhoods that resulted in many shootings, many murders, going back to the Chief Keef days and even before that. So it's not a really big surprise to me that he would have been involved in this type of activity.
And being that you've worked in Chicago, talk to me a little bit about the drill rapper scene over there and OTF. Have they ever been on your radar before?
Oh, absolutely. Um, OTF specifically, not as an organization, but individuals involved with the OTF. You got to understand, it's not just the rap group OTF. It's the fact that they're affiliated with street gangs, gangster disciple street gangs. You know, we've got all kind of gang problems out here in Chicago, and a lot of these rappers come from these crews. And we have shootings all the time where they're filming videos on the street doing their diss raps or whatever you call them, and then there's shootings at those videos, at those video shoots. So we've been after them for quite a while. Again, not going after them so much as an organization.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. He knows something that he not trying to disclose, bro. Dirt about to get hit with some whole other stuff. Seem like, well, I mean, he already done had cases, multiple cases where it's been similar, not similar situations, but it's around similar situations. It just didn't play out in the way that this one played out. So I could believe that they already been had him in investigation. I'm pretty sure they've been watching. No cap. But it's just so crazy that this is a retired cop, and he already say, "Hey, look, he been on the watch list, top 5 watch list in Chicago."
But individuals committing these murders is in furtherance of their gang activity.
And what do you make of the rap scene that also bleeds into the street, where your favorite rapper could be coming out with great music that you enjoy, but then they still hold on to the streets, even though by all accounts they made it big?
They made it out, but some do make it out. Look at Snoop. Now, there's a perfect example who was a stone cold gangbanger in L.A. who made it out. And the only way they can fully make it out is you got to separate yourself from the people that drag you into that life. The kid had talent. The kid had a future. He was making money, but he couldn't get out of that gang mentality, that street mentality that he grew up with.
And, given your expertise in all of this, where does this all stem from? Is it really just like beefs within the neighborhood? Is it over women? Like, where do these rap beefs and these feuds that turn so deadly, where do they really stem and originate from?
It all starts on the streets, okay? And it all starts in the home, as we know. Dirk's dad is doing 2 life sentences. He was a leader in the Gangster Disciples. That's the life he knows. His mom worked hard. She was a nurse, I believe. She worked full time as a nurse. I mean, he grew up on the streets, and anything happens on the streets. It could be over a dope corner. It could be over a girl, like you said. It could be over property. It could be over territory. It could be over just disrespecting each other within these crews. So there's a lot of different reasons why it escalates to this, but it all stems from the street life.
And going into this murder for hire plot, was it common when you were on the force to see this deadly level of retaliation where suspects are offering bounties on the heads of others?
Yes, very common. Retaliation. As a matter of fact, when you do a post shooting report, you got to get them out about 15 minutes after you know about the shooting.
Man, I almost got mad right there. I was trying to exit that upside. I was trying to exit the upside out, like the ad off, and you can't. They got that on the whole video, but they trying to get everybody on this app. This is good promotion right here.
You look at the area, you look at the rivals of the gangs in that area, and then you send resources to the other side to make sure, because you know there's going to be retaliation. So not only do you investigate the crime itself, but you also send resources to the other side against the rival gang you suspect that they'll be retaliating against. And it happens all the time. There's a thing on the street called an SOS, called a shoot on sight. Gangs get that with other members, and not just for individuals, individuals in the other gangs, but for anybody in that gang is an SOS, shoot on sight if you see them. So it's very common and still going on.
And it seems there was heavy planning involved. They bought masks, rented cars, tracked Quando Rondo down to Los Angeles. Are you surprised about this amount of planning that went into this?
No, not really. But everything you just said describes almost to a T what they're indicted for. When you talk about, there's an interstate thing, the FBI is involved because it's an interstate thing. You've got planning, you've got records, you've got interstate travel. Um, it's not surprising when you have that much of a crew that you're going to do those kind of things. Um, but
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I think outside of the box, bro. You ever wondered? Like whoever put that camera up, they ever thought that hey, one day this might solve a murder, or one day this camera could possibly catch something that could change somebody else's life, bro. They just installing the camera and getting paid, bro. Like that's just I ain't gonna lie, I think out of the box, bro. I just wanted to say that, bro. Like just think about this camera that's up right now. It's probably just he probably don't even work for that company no more for that gas station. He probably put that camera up, quit 2 years later. This happened. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I think off the wall. My fault, y'all.
All of those things add up to a lot of problems for these defendants.
Yeah, and according to the feds, lil Durk even tried to flee out of the states too. In your
Tough.
opinion, what does that kind of tell you about how much he was allegedly involved in all of this?
Oh, it tells me that he knew that he was going to be targeted
Yep.
by a prosecution. And again, this happened in 2022, and the indictments happened starting with last in October for this murder that happens in 2022. So I will tell you this much: my experience with the feds are when the feds come looking for you, they pretty much already have you. So there was probably a grand jury convened. There were witnesses spoken to, and it got back to Dirk that hey, you know what, they're hot on your trail. So I think he knew full well what was happening, and and in the superseding indictment, they named him as the head of the organization, shot caller. That's not a good position to be in.
And there's been a lot of rumors circulating online that there was an informant within OTF that may have snitched on Little Dirk. What are your thoughts? And, from what we know so far, is anything pointing out to you that a snitch might have been
Why was his emotion on his face like that right then? Did y'all just see that? Like he was confused.
from what we know so far, is anything pointing out to you that a snitch might have been involved?
I would say absolutely. A lot of information you get is from confidential sources, confidential informants.
That mean right there. That means right there. Hey, I'm not on nobody's side. I'm not no game banger. I'm not no killer. I'm a YouTuber who do videos. Cause y'all like to take stuff out of context. But with what that officer detective what just said, most cases. Hold on, let me run it back.
You that a snitch might have been involved.
I would say absolutely. A lot of information you get is from confidential sources.
Most information you get is from confidential sources. Snitches. Most of the time, these cases cannot get solved. Cannot get solved. Probably warrants can't get arrested. Warrants can't even get issued without somebody talking, bro. If it's the neighbor, the girlfriend, the grandma, the teacher from third grade, what you know what I'm saying? It could be anything, you know what I'm saying? And then I feel like it falls down to cameras. Cameras might be first, you know what I'm saying? It's just with these incidents that I watch on body cams every day that gets people in trouble that they thought they was gonna get out of. Dirt fucked itself with all the money he done gave these boys to do what they did with his name behind it. And also trying to lead a country. But with snitch being involved, it just put so much icing on the cake that you don't even want to eat the cake no more because there's so much damn icing. A damn snitch. That's fucked up, dog. Cause I'm pretty sure he looked out for that snitch, man. That's crazy.
Confidential informants. And when I worked with the feds, we did a 10-month wire. We had a bunch of informants. And not only do we have informants, we have informants that we put listening devices on and spoke to people. And that's how you build your case. And in that indictment was up for 10 months. We had 51 indictments. We had one trial. Everybody else pled out. Because, and again, as this progresses, as you speak to more and more people who come in and say, all right, listen, this is what we have on you, and your sentence is from now on. When people start looking at that type of sentence, they start giving information so they can get departures. Like I said, out of that 51 count indictment, we had 50 pleas in one trial.
And we're seeing six men who were allegedly all involved in this murder for hire that, did end up fatally wounding Quando Rondo's cousin. What are your thoughts on this case going to trial? Do you think all six of them could take a plea? Do you think some could end up standing trial? What are your thoughts on where we could end up later on as this case continues to evolve?
Well, they're going to be getting offers. They're going to get offers. They're going to say, like in our case, we had the head guys were looking at life, and they pled to 30. Now, these are guys in their 20s, early 30s. Maybe they have some life after that. You're going to see people plead out in this case, depending on what they give them. But you're going to see people plead out, especially when you're looking at a life sentence. And I'm going to tell you, when the feds come after you, like I said, they've got a good case. So you're going to see some people flipping, as we say.
And kind of going back to the downward trajectory that we're seeing lil Durk right now, where he was, going from winning Grammys, getting out of the streets to now still being tied up in his alleged gang affiliations back at home, still being tied up in the street life, and now facing a life sentence behind bars. What are your thoughts on this overall? He went to the Cinderella story now to possibly ending up behind bars for the rest of his life.
It's a tragedy. Like I said, it's hard enough for these kids to get out of the situations that they're in England. But once they do get out, you pull for them, whether it's your kind of music or not. You pull for kids to do better and not get dragged into that. But when your mentality is the street mentality, sometimes they just can't get away from that.
I ain't gonna hold you. I know for a fact, whoever used the credit card to pay for the airplanes had enough money in their pockets to pay for the plane tickets that they didn't even need a credit card. So that would have been one incident they probably would have never been able to trace that good. They would have found out still, but it would never. I felt like tied back to lil Durk with that part.
And this is a shame. I mean, he's had run-ins with the law before, but you think he made it, and then you just get dragged down into this, and it all comes down to the street level mentality, and that's what they know.
And the Quando Rondo shooting did happen in 2022. Why do you think we're seeing the indictment now, 2 years later? Talk to me a little bit about all that it takes to go into this level of investigation, especially given now that the federal government's involved.
Well, it's just that. It's that the federal government is involved, and once the federal government gets involved, whatever information they have, and it starts out in L.A. LA will develop information. They'll see that there's
I
a
really want
federal
to know
tie
Quando
when you
Rondo.
start talking about crossing state lines. You start talking about crossing state lines, using public transportation to get to a crime. Then they start to build it. And like I said, with the feds, they're not in a hurry. They will build. They'll interview. They'll convene a grand jury.
I want to know how he feel. I want to know how every time something happens, like, boy, they were following me. Like he was the intended target, and he like, bro, them boys had to drop on me. Was I moving that sloppy? Could I have avoided this? Maybe he was even in the car and noticed the cars behind them following, but never said nothing. Or maybe somebody else in the car peeped it and never said nothing. Or maybe he was just enjoying life and it just was a complete shocker that it happened. Because you got to think, the King Von situation happened 4 years prior to this situation. Maybe 2 years prior to this situation. So he was just minding his business, bro. And man, I know y'all remember that video of Quando Rondo getting out the car crying, bro, yelling. That was bad, and then everybody was laughing at him. But it's just an endless medieval laugh that's gonna forever take on in a situation till either both dead or both in jail or both one in dead and one not worried about the other no more. This situation got too far because I know it was a misunderstanding at the beginning. This shit lame, honestly. I hope no YNs try to chase. I hope no YNs try to follow on these guys' steps because this was bad.
They'll get all kind of testimony in before the grand jury, before you'll do your indictments or before you'll do your criminal complaint, where you'll name your defendants. 2 years is about average. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you, boss.
to speak with you. And
that's all we needed to talk to you about. Hey, man, Durk Cook. I ain't gonna lie, he gonna need 2-3 good lawyers. It seemed like he fucking cooked. No cap.
Again, it's just a shame that this type of stuff happens for a kid that probably made it out.
He did make it out.
Yeah, and of course we'll continue to follow this as well too. Again, thank you, Will, so much for your time today. I always appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime.
All 6 defendants, including lil Durk, haven't entered a plea to the charges, but are expected to be arraigned in a Los Angeles federal court in the coming weeks. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Milne.
All right, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna try my best to keep y'all updated with all updates on lil Durk's situation, man. My name is Wavy Diesel. I'm giving the chain away once I hit 10K followers on Instagram, so make sure y'all keep tapping in with me. Man, I appreciate y'all for all the views, the subscribes, the comments, the likes. Keep running us up, and we're gonna keep going up, man. Shout out to y'all. We out.